Hello. Welcome. Hi. How are you today? I'm fine. That's great. Anyways, hi everybody, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting live. Today is Sunday. Sunday where we sew on a Sunday. And we are still working on the double wedding ring. And I laid some of it on the wall. The rest of it's on my phone, which I placed somewhere out of the way. I took a picture of it on the living room floor in hopes that, I can go by my phone. But if I don't get very far today, the rest of it's going to go back on the living room floor while I put it together because, and it'll just be a walking back and forth thing. But for now, some of it's on the wall so that you can see. So let's see who's here when my phone finally turns it back on. Oop, I forgot their sound. All right. Apparently, you guys can see there is a new community leaderboard. The more you comment, the number, you're going to get a little crown with a number next to it. So just so you know, I don't know nothing. I just know that it's a community leaderboard. And the more you comment and interact in the chat, the more chances you have of becoming number one for the day. I don't know. It's a YouTube thing. All right. And who was that one that I can't see now? Barbara. I just want to thank Barbara. She gave some tips up there that we can't see anymore because it's so far up in the beginning. So thank you, Barbara, for that. All right, we got Karen, Doris. Oh, Barbara, she's there right there. Okay. Gloria, Nancy, Leanne, Karen, Vicky, Kim, Mickey, Arena, sorry. I'm having a day. Gwen, Dawn, Jacqueline, Aldea, Tracy. If you guys can't tell by my voice, because I feel it, I have the shakes really bad, my full body. So it kind of sounds like my voice is shaking. That's not my fault. I'm really bad today, but I'm going to go and do this as much as I can. But I don't know if I can do up and down much. And I definitely can't reach down to the floor because my legs are all screwed up. But we're going to make this work. So as you can see on the wall, obviously that side won't be there because we just kind of put it up here. But I cut some bikini bottoms. These bikini bottoms in a different color because I was out of ecru, and when Scott went to order it, it ordered, but then it sent a message back to him saying, oh, we're out of stock. So I can't get no more of this ecru. He looked online at different states, there's none available. So I went and grabbed from my stash of solids this color, which is what, maple syrup, you said?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar. This color, brown sugar. But look at this. Doesn't it look amazing around the edge? This is going to look fabulous. The only thing I haven't put on is the top corner. But this is an on-point double wedding ring. So if you're following the on-point part of things, because I did post in the Facebook group the difference between a regular traditional double wedding ring, which is what you see in this book, which is this way. You can see that they're put together in long rows this way, and then you do the long curved seam. On point, it's the same thing. This is why I laid it out to make sure. Okay, we'll just get up the one so that I can do this. This row right here is your first row. So it'd be this piece, my, I'm calling them bikini bottoms. Yeah. It'll be a bikini bottom, a football, a plus sign, a football, and a bikini bottom, and then this football up here. So that way, when I go to put the next row on, which is this row, I'm going to have a curved seam that goes here. Oh, yeah, this way. Yeah, it'll be this football too. This way, up here. So it'll be a curved seam to put that together. And then the next row will have this football, and then it'll be a long curved seam. I just have to pay attention and like draw the curve out with my fingers so that I can realize what I'm doing. Best for those that are going to follow this way instead of doing traditional, my honest and true best opinion is if you have a giant design wall, or even if it's not giant because you're doing a smaller quilt, put it on the design wall in the way you want to lay it out, or the design floor or your design bed in the way you want to lay it out. That way it makes it easier to grab the parts and pieces for that exact row. And you'll see, because it's going to go together the same as traditional, just on point. And I absolutely 100% love the look of an on point. And apparently in the Facebook group, a lot of you also preferred on point over the traditional. It just adds more interest to it. And then the fact that I'm putting my bikini bottoms all the way around in a different color, even more interest. And then I'll take this same color and go all the way around the whole quilt one time with like a 1.5-inch border or something. And that will just help that all float on the quilt. So I'm loving this. This is what I'm going to do. I do want to thank, who sent this again? I totally forgot the name. Linda. She's talked about it last week about sending a pattern for the double wedding ring for putting it on point like this. So this corner piece doesn't fit for my current pieces, but it actually does fit up here in this corner. So I will cut this piece for the 4 corners in the end when I get to the 4 corners, because I only had 2 yards of that brown sugar. So I have to make it last. So, but I have the piece for the corner so that I don't have to worry about trying to measure that out. I have the corner piece. So there's that. But I'm going to put it aside for now because it's not needed until I do those edges. Because I'm not doing curved anything. Everything is curved put together. I don't want curved borders. All right, so I'm going to get started. I have an iron over here. And we're going to get started putting this thing together. Yay, finally. Because this has been a lot of work. So now I'm just going to separate where I'm going. So we're making this piece, that, this one, that one, and this one. And my bikini bottoms are just half of the E piece. So your E cut that makes this. I literally have a 1/4 inch on both sides. This is a 1/2 inch end. I literally put the ruler on here at a 1/4 inch in and landed it at a 1/4 inch in on this side and then cut straight across very, very carefully. So that's all that is just half of that because I'm putting mine on point and you only need half. So I'm going to start by building this right here.
You ever done tumbling blocks?
I have done tumbling blocks, yes.
Do you have any videos on it?
No, but I can make a video on tumbling blocks because I have a whole bag of tumbling blocks for scraps that I could put together, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yes, when you're done with this.
When I'm done with this, it's not going to happen after this either. I have a bunch of things to do. Maybe I can do a little video, but it's not going to be anything fancy. Plus, I'm having issues, so those of you who know me very well know that, I struggle with MS problems, and it's just getting worse, not better. All right, I'm going to find the center of this. Just the center for a moment. Make a little crease. I'm going to mark that. I'm going to make a little crease. Mark it over and over until all 4 sides have a center mark on them. This is the part that's probably going to take the longest. And I really don't want to not do this right. This is the one I'm going to do right. Come on, right there. All right. After I mark all the 4 corners, then take a little ruler and put a little dot a 1/4 inch in right here on all 4 of these things, a 1/4 inch in. That way you know where to line it up because it does not line up like you think. So I want a 1/4 inch in, little dot on all of these. All 4 of these. So I got lots of markings, and just use a heat away friction pin or a pencil even. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it on here with that center. So the center of this block is always the 3rd one in. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. We're going to put that center on there. And then we're going to use some pins today. I'm going to pin that in place. And then this piece does not go to the end. Nope. That's why it's marked a 1/4 inch in. When you start lining this up all the way around, it's going to go to the 1/4 inch seam on this piece. So right where that seam is, we're literally going to match it up. And I'm going to do this one, and then the next one we'll have the camera come around for. So I'm going to line up that little thing right there, and then I'm going to line up the opposite side. Again, this piece goes a 1/4 inch into this. Yeah, I know it's so weird. It seems like it doesn't fit, but it's not meant to go the full way. Stay where I put you though, piece. Don't ask me, it's just how it works. Okay, now I'm just going to match the whole thing up, put some pins in here, match up my concave and my convex. Really doesn't matter which one's on top or bottom because I'm pre-pinning the whole entire thing. And if you pieced all your footballs correctly, everything should line up. This is the part that's going to take the longest, is putting it together. Thumper's good. He's been very playful.
He likes his new food.
He loves his new prescription food.
It's not cheap though.
It's not cheap, but he likes it, so that's what he's going to have for the rest of his life. He's been doing good on it. All right. It's all pinned. Now, I'm literally going to come in at that dot that I made, and I'm going to put my needle down in that dot, and I'm going to sew. I'm going to take a back stitch, and now I'm going to very carefully, I got the hiccups, go figure. I'm going to carefully sew around this thing. And pull the pins out as I go. And yes, I feel like I'm sewing very slowly. And you could be a rebel and not pin it. I mean, as long as those two ends are pinned, I'm going to go to that dot and backstitch. Now, it looks like this. When I press it, I'm going to press it up towards this big thing. And you can see this is left open so that that next seam can go next to it. And then the end is left open because when you hook these parts of the football together, it will create one full stitch, if that makes any sense. So the rest of it becomes a full stitch that way. It's all half stitching, let's just say that. Okay. And then I'm going to hook on the next side piece, which I'll have Scott bring the camera around in a second once this is pressed.
Thumper's birthday's next week.
Yep.
They can't send him treats.
Yeah, his birthday's coming up next month, and nobody send him treats. Please do not send him treats. He cannot have anything but his prescription food. So he doesn't need any treats. Because last year he got treats for his birthday. All right, should be warm enough. I'm only going to press the curve. Okay. So now I'm going to grab the next one, this, and I'm going to have Scott bring the camera around so that you guys can see.
We're taking it to the sewing machine.
Yeah, taking it to the sewing machine. So okay. Camera's moving, the camera is moving. He's going to show you guys close up, by the way.
Well, they can't see that this is fabric from far away.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all, here's the fabric.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Camera is still kind of moving.
Is that good?
Yeah. No, as long as they can see what I'm doing here. So again, center football right there. We're going to line that up with this right here. Put that center on there. I'm going to throw a pin in it. Just like that. Then we're going to match this up with, see how this has a 1/4 inch seam right here? We're going to put it beyond that 1/4 inch seam. Literally, I know this is so hard because I can't barely hold it. It's so tiny. It's literally right here on that seam. So I'm going to very carefully throw a pin right there. I'm going to come to this side. See my dot? You can see where my 1/4 inch is going to start and stop. I'm going to line this end up with this seam right here. So it's literally on the seam. It comes right to the edge. This is very hard to do to show you guys when you're super up close. Just remember, if you're following a book, your book should tell you all these things. So you're literally lining it up right there. If I can get this pin in here, I have the shake, so it's making it a little bit harder.
Where'd you get your pin holder?
My pin holder is a Purple Hobbies pin holder, I think that's what it is. And it came from Fat Quarter Shop.
That's what I thought.
Doesn't even say. I'm pretty sure it's Purple Hobbies, though. Anyway, it's got the link in for Fat Quarter Shop. All right. And while I'm here saying links to things, don't forget that there is still a sale going on until June 7th. Fat Tuesday Fabrics. Fat Tuesday Fabrics. Fat Tuesday Fabrics. There'll be a link in there. And if you type in TIFF10 at checkout, you will get 10% off. All right, this time I'm pinning all the way to the end because this is an outer piece. So I lined up these ends. And when I stitch this, I'm going to stitch all the way across because this is an end. Actually, yeah, this one goes all the way. Sorry, I don't want to tell you something that's not right. Sales.
Oh, it's sales?
Yes, with an S. I'm going to carefully, just using my fingernails to scooch the fabric to the edge so that we could throw some pins in here. Flattening it out. Lining it up. Most of this will smooth out when we start stitching. Right now, it looks like a mess. And honestly, some people say sew the concave first or the convex whatever on the bottom and the concave on the top or whatever. Just do what's best for you. I can see where my 1/4 inch mark is here, so I'm going to do it with this one on the top.
Don't breach the hard food, not canned.
Yeah, he eats hard food, not canned.
And if they want to send it, they can, but it's expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive food if you want to send it. And you have to have the prescription to even buy it anyway, so. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to keep this lined up, guys. And it's not going very well because it's a tiny little piece here. This is one thing about this pattern. It's so tiny. If you did the Donna Jordan method, then it wouldn't be so tiny. It would be a normal size piece. All right, so now I'm going to stitch carefully around my curve. Pulling my pins out as I go. Straightening things as I go. And I'm going to come up to this, and what I'm going to do is make sure it's lined up right. I'm going to go right past that and hopefully catch right at that seam junction. I don't want to mess that up. This is probably the hardest part right here. Let's see. Did it mess it up? Oh, it kind of got messed up right here. See that? So that seam junction needs to stay flat. And since that piece does not want to stay flat because it's so tiny, and it folded this over, it didn't land exactly the way it's supposed to, but it is encased in, so there is no pokey hole through it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it and press it real quick. Give me 2 seconds to iron this down. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yep, good till the 7th.
You were
So
right.
save 10% off of your purchase by using TIF10 at checkout. Okay, so there's 2 on there. You can see it's sort of good. I'll get better as I sew these. So now the next side needs to go on. So we'll go ahead and grab that side. And the whole entire time, you also have to make sure that these are opposites right here. These are opposite colors. So every time you attach one, make sure you're touching a different color to it. So I'm going to go ahead now, match my center first. And then I'm going to come to this end, folding that back, matching that up with that seam. And you know what? Honestly, I think I'm just going to fold it in there. I'm going to see if this works by lining it up right here. I'm going to fold it in there. Hook these 2 ends. Let's see if it works this way. Okay. So now I have the concave and convex on the opposite side, so I can't see where it's landing. This is going to take me a long time to put together, I feel. Yeah, this is the hardest part. Stay right there. I'm holding it very carefully, like. I'm just taking a couple stitches at a time. This is where a stiletto comes in handy. And it still feels like it goes off crooked. And it does. So you can see it's still open. I did not really hit that 1/4 inch mark. Let's make it straighter. I don't know how else to do this best, guys. So this is probably why nobody ever does this quilt. It definitely requires, there we go. So there, it's now lined up with a 1/4 inch hanging off. So when this side hooks to the next one, because we're making a complete circle, first, oops, gotta make sure they're the right direction. This should now hook up with this equally. And when I fold it, it should line right up. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a pin in there. Oh, that's not gonna work for me. Sorry guys, this is, like I said, the hardest part. I'm just gonna fold it on there. Fold it on there like that. Stay. It has you do half at a time, like moving it out of the way like this and then leaving your ends open. So that you don't have this problem, but it's really hard to line them up. When you have shaky hands like I do right now, it's even harder. Let's put that in there for now. Put that center marking. go to this side and line it up. There. I'll put this pin in this way and see if that helps. Come across the top part. Yeah, that doesn't work like you think. Okay. Nope, that's not going to work either. Keep that out of the way. We're just going to drop this in. See if I can't hold it flat. Oops. No, that's not the one I want anymore. This is the one I want. Retard me. Moments like this. All right. Here we go. We're going to try it this way. Try to match that up. Put that needle down right there in that 1/4 inch part. There we go. Now let's see. It's probably going to be just as hard. Seems like it's puckering everything. This is very hard to do, my friends. I'm just going to open that.
You put the pins in from the opposite direction.
I can't put the pins in from the opposite direction. My fingers won't allow me. Stay right there. Don't move.
Can you use glue instead of pins?
You can use glue. Did I come to the end?
Do you want glue?
No. Once that end is on there like this, I'm literally going to fold it in half right there and start at this 1/4 inch junction and come out. That's what I'm going to do from now on. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Much better. So here's the other open one. I'm going to fold it right here, lining those 2 seams up, but I'm going to start where my 2 threads come together at that 1/4 inch mark right there. I'm literally going to put the needle down right there to sew off of these. Right there. Let's see. Much better. Much better. All right, let me press this and we'll add some bikini bottoms on the sides. I'm not sure how flat this is going to be. And I have a nice big pucker. Go figure.
Bring the camera over so they can see that.
Nice big pucker. See what happened there? That's going to drive me nuts. We need to release that pucker. I'm just going to go like an inch before it and an inch after it. And I'm going to put this on the bottom so that the pucker pulls in equally with the feed dogs. Oh, I can't even do this. On the bottom. Smooth it out. Place it under where I picked. And go to where I unpicked. And there's now no more pucker. Yay. Oh, yeah. I probably shouldn't do these things when I don't feel well either. I'm pressing my whole entire circle right now. trying to be very careful about it, but I never said this was going to be perfect. I also am using a very small pressing surface, and it'd probably be smarter not to have the small surface. At the moment, this is how flat it's going to get. So here's my end piece. I need to put it on the wall real quick so I could see which section goes where real quick so that the next ones, these two pieces, match. So I'm going to put it up here. Nope, that's wrong. Nope, that's wrong. Why are they all wrong? What did I do? I did something wrong. Apparently, I sewed it all wrong. So now everything on the wall has to get turned. Today's going to be one of those days. Actually, it's been one of those days all day so far. Sorry, I'm turning everything on the wall, guys. Well, at least everything that's right here for row 2. One piece at a time. This is why you go back to your design floor, you know. Do a piece, put it back on the floor. Do a piece, put it back on the floor or the wall or wherever, and then pick it up. Put the next one on. That's all wrong, all wrong. And don't work on these when you don't feel good. That's totally not going to help either. Let's hope I don't mess up the next ones. All right, this football underwear goes on this side, like this. So I'm literally going to sew at this 1/4 inch mark all the way around to the side. So make sure that it's the side that I want it on. I'm going to place this right here. I'm going to sew this on manually without anything. And then I'll put it back on the wall and make sure I don't want to get to that point where I hate this quilt so much I give up on it. So just take a deep breath in, let it out, and keep going. All right. There's one piece. I left this open so that I can, you know, attach the next side to it. So I'm going to press that back towards the bikini bottom. I'm going to put it back on the wall. Oh, see, I knew I had to get up and down all day. The other one's going to go right here.
I can get up and down and hand you the stuff.
Problem is I need it grabbed a certain way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that my brain sees it correctly. So now, no, that's not right. Now, I'm going to put this fatter one on this end. I'm going to match it up with that seam. I have a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so that should be perfect right there. And I'm just going to walk this one around now. Why did they have to make the pieces so small? That's the part I don't understand. And that's probably why everybody likes the Donna Jordan one better. Because that one, you make square blocks and then you hook them together.
Yeah, that does sound easier.
Yes.
Square blocks do sound easier.
All right. Now that's on there. So now row 1 is done. For my on point quilt. And unfortunately, when I go all the way around, because I didn't have that extra quarter on all of these, I'm going to lose this much on the sides. So when I line this one up with the next one, I'm going to lose about a 1/4 inch of the end of this. But that's fine by me because I'm going to put a border on it and it's going to float. That's because I didn't have enough fabric of any of these fabrics to make this even halfer of a piece from the 1/4 inch mark. So if you want to make sure it's half after, if you have plenty of fabric to work with, when I cut this in half, cut it in half, matching the two ends, and that is fully discarded instead of using both halves. If that makes any sense. So you would literally line up the ruler right here, cut that one off completely. There's no way around that. Unless whatever, but I'm only losing a 1/4 inch for my straightness right here, which is fine. All right, I'm going to place this back on the wall and start piecing number 2, row 2. And you can put the camera back. They saw how I'm doing that. So that's row 1. No, that's row 1 that way. So this one is going to have that curve that we're going to piece together. But first, we got to piece this whole row together without messing anything up. So I'm going to go ahead now and hook this to that, this to that, this to that, and that to that. That's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be, move this further over so that I can make sure I'm doing this right. This one is going to go one, this, this, and that.
What's the purple crown?
And that.
Are they talking about your pin holder?
The pin holder?
I don't know.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Purple crown thing?
Is that the crowns on the chat?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it turning purple? Are they different colors?
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know what you're talking about. If it's the chat crowns, it's just a stupid leaderboard. Whoever chats the most gets a crown. All right, and then this one, my pin holder, that's like a bucket. All right, so then it's gonna curve, 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 and curve. Why does it seem so pointy though? Whatever. Okay, that's how it's gonna go. Yeah, okay. Whatever. So I'm going to put this one on first. And I am going to try this without pins and without marking. You pin and mark. I'm going to try it without because maybe my fingers can do it better. I'm hoping, at least. I have a consistent 1/4 inch seam, so I'm hoping that helps.
You got it, honey. You can do it.
Like I said, having a magnetic seam guide helps. I just don't want to get frustrated. So I'm going to do this the way I normally do things, my way. I put the seam, hold it with my finger.
Did every other football section open except with the next one?
leave every other football section off and attach with the next row? Is
Yeah,
that
she
how
was
it's
saying
supposed to
makes
get
it
done?
Easier. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I understand. All right. That was that direction. This one is this direction. Hey, if anything, if it's all messed up, I'm the one long arm quilting it, so you know, I'll make it work. All right, let's bring this point to there. So only that. I don't know how I'm going to because I can't open this thing up. My fingers just aren't allowing this. Join the two. Can't do it. Hold it tight. Let it down. Put that needle in there. I don't like the way they connect at all whatsoever. Remind me to never make one again. Or find an easier way to do it. That is so sloppy. It doesn't even lay flat. You want to see what it looks like when I get frustrated? I don't like it. I'm picking it out. Can't. Also, a good tip, make sure you use a 2.0 stitch length, nothing smaller, because if it's smaller, then you're not going to be able to pick out this madness. Because you won't be able to get your seam ripper in between those stitches. There's got to be a better way to do this, guys. I probably would have been better off making all my circles first like I wanted to. And then once you start messing with this little tiny piece here, that's only half an inch wide, it starts fraying. I don't care what fabric you use, it's going to fray because you're messing with it.
You want to make the seam between the rows look like a wave versus a scallop.
The seam between the rows look like a wave versus a scallop. So it'd be, pull that down. Pull that down. No, it's still a scallop no matter which way I do it. Versus that point. It's still a point. Unless this one stays there. This one comes here. This one goes here.
She said yes, you got it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, somehow I gotta press this little guy. Re-sew it back in. Glue will not work with this either because you're moving it so much. I won't be able to get the glue to stay on there straight because the piece isn't straight. It wants to go in the curve, you know? This one goes on this side. Hold that out of the way. Try to keep it completely out of the way, but keep this straight. This doesn't work. I can't even hold this out of the way. And my piece has now fallen apart.
Would it be easier to sew from the center out?
You know, I've done that before on a curved piecing project. I went from the center out. I can't get this to stay out of the way. Right there. Stay. Right there. Stay. If this messes up again, I'm going to leave it because I'm over it now. Whatever happens, happens. And it's still messed up, and I still missed a whole stitch. And come back as far as I ripped it. Okay. I'm leaving it because I'm at that point. Once it's quilted, you know, it's really easy to hide some of these imperfections of quilting. My original idea was to make all the circles and then hook them all together with the plus signs. All right, had this way. Now this one goes on here.
Maybe after you do this a million times, it's going to be super easy.
After I do this a zillion times, it'll be super easy, is what Scott said. No.
Yes, that's what I said. That's not what it is.
It's going to get harder because that's just how it works. Okay. I'm going to put a pin right here at this edge. Then I'm going to open that up and place this right there.
What if you set the center of the block to the end? You're having an issue with the ends being half in?
If I hook the center of the blocks to the end, I don't know. I need that out of my way completely, and I can't do that because there's not enough space. Right there. All right, let's see how this one goes. I have a pin holding that piece back. It's okay. If I get too frustrated, I just walk away. And then I do my own thing, which is probably easier to have just made all the circles and then inserted all this. Because I can't get these things to lay straight is the problem.
You'll figure it out.
Quarter-inch hanging off of there. Oops, there's a pin. Let's see. Okay, that was a little better. Folding it back with a pin. Okay. So now I'm going to hook this on here. So I'm going to do this without pins, probably. Maybe the rows going together I'll do the pins, but I can't get my fingers to work around it, so I'm just going to stay away from them except for holding things down. Right there. All right, and that's on there. Okay, now I gotta remember where I was. So that means that this goes on here. You know, I'd probably have some of this done if I didn't feel so bad, you know. I've been working on the long arm, but I can only work like 20, maybe 35, 40 minutes at a time on the long arm, trying to get somebody's show quilt done. And
Yeah, why don't you tell them about that while you're working? Maybe
yeah,
that'll
I've
take your
been
mind off.
working on a Tula Pink Mad Hatter Tea Party quilt on the long arm.
And it is amazing.
Scott says it's amazing. I say it looks like caca, but you know, that's what I think of all my work. All right.
You took video of it so you can show them though, right?
Yeah, but I took video footage of it, and I'm not allowed to show it because that person doesn't want to see it until she gets it in the mail. So the video won't be until after she's already gotten it in the mail and said her likings on it, you know?
Yes, but you can show it eventually.
But eventually there'll be a video out on it of all the crazy work that I've been doing. Come on. Just go. Stupid. Sorry, I'm acting as if I have no audience. That's the way I talk when I'm by myself. I talk to myself. And I call things stupid and idiotic, and I tell it to stop making me mad. Actually, I say the word stop pissing me off, but you know.
What's your thread tonight?
I'm using Orifil 40 or 50 weight, something like that. It's 50, I'm pretty sure. Color 2123. Yeah, I think it's 50 weight. It's small thread. But my machine likes it only when it's on a big spool. It does not like Orifil on little tiny spools. Stay out of my way, you piece. Thank you. Very carefully, like. Stay. Right there. Did it go? Yes. I don't like that it has a gap in it if you don't get it exact, but I'm going to leave it because I'm just, brain does not like doing this. My brain just does not like it. This is going to be a, what do they call it? Fat chance in hell before I do this again. Sorry. It's a good thing I'm doing a nice traditional style one now because I'll never do it again. Why does that one look better than the other one? I don't care. Just press it. Ow, that was my elbow. Okay. Now I have to remember which way I had it. Not that way, because those were the same. This is where having a floor or a design wall is the better way to do it. Okay, now I'm just saying that having a design wall or floor is the best way to go. Now I gotta hook this guy on here. Stupid pad came off the chair.
Now it's all the way off the chair. Can I get you something today?
No.
You want one of your other cushions?
You know what though? Can I have an ibuprofen and the other pill?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Maybe it'll control my shakes, will control my
Yes.
irritation.
I got
Sorry guys, I don't mean to take pills while on the live stream, but I forgot to take them beforehand.
just ibuprofen. I like it's drugs. Anything else, honey?
Nope, that was
Some
it.
juice or something?
No, another water would be fine though.
Okay.
Please, thank you. So I'm just holding this piece with the stiletto the whole way, scratching the heck out of my machine bed, but unfortunately there is no other way around this little tiny piece. There's got to be a better way to do this. That's why people don't make this, because it's so intimidating, and this is actually hard. This is definitely an advanced skill level here needed, my friends. Okay, hold on. I think something's that was on that side. So now this one goes on top. Yeah, that's for my continuous curve. Right? Yep. Let's take this to that side. Start it and then go. Somebody asked how many hours I have in this quilt. Well, apparently I'm going to have so many more than a previous quilt that I made that was just as hard.
Which one?
The Mariner's Compass.
No, that one you had months. You restarted.
Yeah, but that was
quilt from
6
scratch.
months. But if I didn't have to restart it, the restart went quick. You know? Once I restarted that, it went super quick. This, on the other hand, there's no restarting once I start because this is a lot of work. All right, so I'm going to throw a pin in here to hold this up and out of the way. Come close to it and stiletto it the rest of the way. Stay right there. And it didn't stay. You know, you tell something to do something. It doesn't listen. There. Is that right? Yep, it touched. Touched, but it made these off now. I don't know what side to pluck. This one plucked. Never again. Never again. Oh, let's try that again. I don't know how. It's not even going to be even.
All right, my love, you got this. You want to come rub your shoulders?
That's not going to help me. Have you ever seen me this frustrated? Probably not. It doesn't happen on camera very often. Let's see.
Oh, but it happens in the real world.
All right, now we'll put it together. It really doesn't help that I have the shakes, you know, it's not making this any better for me.
Another part of it you can work on?
Another part of it I can work on? Not really. No. Okay, that matched better than the other ones did. Sorry. And I have a crease.
It's okay.
I'm sorry I'm making this look super duper hard for those of you that are doing this for the first time along with me. I never said I was a pro at this one because this is the quilt that tormented me on my brain that I wanted to do for years, but never did. And apparently I have to rip this whole side because it probably creased due to the fact that it's not lined up properly because I'm not using pins. All right, now let's try that again. About there. All right. I forgot to pull all the threads out, so now they're all sticking out of the seam all funky. All right. Got rid of the crease. Now I think it goes this way. Now this one will go on here, and then it gets a football. And then it gets a football. Like that. And this side also gets the football. Like that. There. One. Nope. No, this one does not. One gets it, and one does not. Right? No.
No.
Yep, they're all turned the wrong way.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't gotten a chance to finish turning them. Yeah, that's the correct curve. Curve, curve, and curve. Yep. Okay, so now I have to hook this one to this one.
Yeah, these are getting like ordinary in the corners, aren't they?
Yeah. That's okay. When I'm done with it, I will iron the heck out of it. And when I long arm quilt it myself, then it'll be just fine. And I already decided on keeping this quilt, so I'm just gonna keep it, and it won't matter. Nobody else will see it. And the sloppiness that's creating it.
You know what you have to do if you want to keep it. You have to get rid of a different one. All your other quilts are awesome too.
Well, this won't be sellable for the amount of work I'm putting in it. This is pretty sloppy. This is really sloppy. Nobody would buy this sloppiness.
You say that, but it's
No,
not true.
it's true. It's 100% true. Get on there, right there. Stay where I put you. There we go. Now line that up. This on, or else I will screw this up. Nope, I screwed it up anyway. I just want to get at least this one row to, I mean, come on now. Just one row together. The rest I will go crazy and do on my own time instead of in front of a camera with you guys. What's going to happen is next week we'll get to starting other things until this is done. Then we'll come back to the double wedding ring when I get situated enough. Because
Thursday will be something different anyway.
Yeah, Thursday's something different anyway for breakfast at Tiffany's. But no, the double wedding ring will have to be put on pause because it's got to give me time to put it all together. And with the way I feel and all the things I got going on and the way I feel, I said it's gonna take a while to put this together, which gives you guys all plenty of time to put yours together too, those that are sewing along. I just hope I'm not discouraging you on putting it together because I'm having issues. Just because I'm having issues doesn't mean you're having issues. Huh? Do I have a sharp needle in the machine? Yeah, I just changed it like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or so. So it should be sharp. I haven't been really doing any sewing but this quilt. Wow, that's the best one so far.
Well, let's see. Show it up.
Like that matches nicely.
That is good. What's that?
Of all the seams, this one is the best one. Like, see, it comes together nicely. This one has a gap in it. You see that? This one has too much of a gap.
Oh, you're being picky.
This one is way messed up, but there's also a bunch of little threads that need snipped.
You're
I'm
being picky.
flicking it out.
It looks good. It looks very good.
Yeah, I guess once I sew about 50, it'll be okay, just like the footballs. It took however many footballs before I started sewing them without using pins. Okay. Now, since I just sewed that piece on, we're going to put it back right here. All right, I need to get this on and this. Who?
Lady Fair.
Oh, thank you, Lady Fair. That's very sweet. Okay, hold on. I got to figure this out real quick. I'm also going to swap this one with this one real quickly also, because those were the same colors touching each other, and I don't want the same colors next to each other. So I need to put this on here first, and then add that to it. Gotta make sure where I'm sewing though.
So the green rim quilt.
Oh, thank you, Katie. Pass the seam. Start the stitch. You guys don't have to do that though, but I appreciate it.
What juke are you using to sew?
I am using the Juki TL 2010Q. It is an amazing straight stitch only machine. It does everything I needed to do, which is nothing computerized because I'm not doing anything computerized. Why do I need a computerized machine? It has a thread cutter built in. It has a knee lift and it sews straight, which is exactly what I need. Even though right now I'm sewing curves, but there is no machine that sews curves. There is a foot that you could put on your machine for sewing curves, but technically, machines don't sew curves. You sew curves. All right, that's on there. Now I got to put the other football on the bottom of that one. Look at what happened.
What?
It sucked the whole thing in.
Why?
I don't know. It looked straight on the top, but the bottom apparently wasn't. A huge pucker, guys. It literally almost lost a whole entire block just now. Cannot see to pluck thread today either. How did it do that? I don't know. But all I know is I have to take the whole piece off because now it's too short because it folded under literally like a whole inch of fabric. And this is why you're supposed to pin. I don't want to, but you're supposed to. I swear it's gonna be like 10 years before this thing is fully pieced. So it feels like. I can just get this one corner started, you know? Although I have a feeling I think what I'm going to end up doing is piecing all the footballs to the plus signs and make all circles and then hook them all together with the center things. It seems like a more easier method than what I'm doing right now.
If you don't press it till it's all the way down. One lady was told by the guild members not to do any pressing till it's all
No pressing until all the pieces are together. I mean, I could. Again, this is my first time ever making this, so I'm just as lost as you guys. I'm struggling just as much as all of you who are doing this for the first time. Those of you who are seasoned at doing this, obviously are the ones with the tips in the audience today. I mean, I could stop pressing, which is good because we could turn the iron off and not be so hot in here.
Yeah.
All right. These threads out. Start this all over again. Just like the tip for the points. I would have not seen that until I was already ready to sew it, and then I'd have been like, why did I hook that there type thing. All right, let's try this again. Got to make sure it's going the right way, though. Not that. It's this way.
I don't know. Some people were saying it would be less accurate if you don't iron.
Less accurate if I don't.
The assembly would be less accurate without.
If I get this to stay without connecting to my magnetic seam guide, that's the problem there. I don't know. We'll see. This part I am ironing to get it right. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what's happening
came in to
here.
say hi. He said, "Mama, you can relax. I'll come in and say hi to everybody."
Yeah, this is.
Come here. I really want to say hi to the
And I ran out of bobbin. No.
He says, "Relax, Mama. You're doing great."
Hi, kitty. Say hi, everybody.
Doing a good job. We all love it.
Okay, I have to pluck this whole thing again. For some strange reason, it is not working to attach this end to this side. My football might be too big, though, is what it could be. I mean, I'm going to pin it, though. We're going to do it one more time, and that's it. And then I give up. I cannot see these stitches. All my fabric is fraying right
They're all
here and
saying
everything.
Thumper matches the colors of your quilt.
Yep, Thumper does match the colors of my
I
quilt.
never noticed that. Thumper looks like a quilt.
I'm going to go all the way back because I definitely don't want to have to try to re-sew that little tiny 1/4-inch piece again. So I'm going to just go most of the way. And then we're just going to work in that bottom. Most of the way. this most of the way now. Right there. Place a pivot. I don't see how anybody did this with paper piecing either. You said that you paper piece this in the past. I think that would be just as hard. Okay, let's see if this helps. Can't sew over that. That's the last time I can sew that because it's ripping on the end now. And this, look at how puckered that is.
Okay, I see that.
I wonder if the iron will take that out. I mean, I'm just going to have to leave it though because I can't do anything about that.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine when you quilt it. All that'll be covered up.
All right.
Watch out, he's behind you.
Oh, he's rubbing his head all over everything over there. Okay, let's do this one more time.
Let's just rub it up against plastic.
Okay, I gotta put this on here now.
Do you want me to hand it to you? Okay. You got it, honey.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to do it the opposite direction. That's not gonna work. I'm just gonna hold it and attempt to do this. You know what would probably be easier? To hand piece it all.
A lot of them said yes. A lot of your fans said that too.
Do it all by hand. Because that seems like it would be so much easier than trying to do this. because by hand I can ease things in. I just hate sewing by hand, so I don't do it. I also do not like that this has now folded over itself. And it's, I'm not tearing now. I have the same two colors right here. Yeah, they are. They're the same fabric.
Yeah, but one's more orange and the other's more white. No one will notice.
I'm not caring now. Now I'm literally not giving it, and you know, a bad word. All right. Yeah. No, I can't. Look at this. Oh, maybe it is. Let me put my glasses on and I can see better.
What if you put interfacing on that spot? Very stark yarn.
I mean, I could put interfacing, but then it's going to make this thing a whole lot heavier, and I don't know. I'm just trying to get it done. That's what I'm trying to do. I just want it done. I've spent the last 5 weeks messing with all the parts and pieces for this quilt. You know, I'm definitely at that point. I never spend 5 weeks on a quilt, especially on live stream with you guys. All right, we have a nice curve going. So now I need to hook this to this side and then another hook on it. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of hand sewing, because then I can get these pieces to line up better. My hand sewing isn't very good though, and I would be afraid it would just start falling apart. I mean, this don't even... I'm just gonna do what we can. No. And then this, without putting it up, let's make sure that this football is in the correct position.
Yeah, what if you hand sew the areas where you need it to match?
Yeah, and just like literally sew only the main part and the rest of it all by hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm tempted to.
That's a good idea.
So this all this main part, and then just sew it, close the openings by hand. problem is this is really a very tiny seam that they got going here. So it's almost probably going to be just as hard by hand, because when you're sewing by hand, one is holding the piece and the other is whatever, but you need two hands. I'm using two hands to hold this. And when you sew by hand, you can only do one hand. So even if I was to have pinned this, I would still be just one hand. We'll see after I get these pieces together. We'll take a second look at the whole institution of a double wedding ring, see if there's a way to change it. For sanity purposes.
To keep Tiffy sane.
Yep. That's where I'm at right now. Yep. That's not even a seam ripper. Let's just put that away. I can't believe it's taken me 2 hours to do this. I would be done with a whole entire quilt by now.
How long ago did you get that machine?
This Juki I got in 2023. I got it before Cyrus died, remember?
Is there any way you can cut your bikini in half to square your blocks? Would that make it easier?
No, it won't work. And you know what I'm also thinking? Honestly, I wasted a ton of fabric doing this, but this template here,
Yeah.
if it makes the blocks square, I'd just be putting them together square.
Yeah.
You know, I would just be putting a bunch of squares together.
Yeah.
If I can fit this to the proper size, you know, for my whatevers, I would have to take this down a little bit. But then I can just make squares. But that means I have to rip all this out.
You have to still do the curve around the football side?
Well, yeah, but I'd be sewing the whole curve into a square. Or I can just keep going, driving myself crazy. Driving Miss Tiffany crazy.
Can you use a glue stick?
What is a glue stick going to do? It's not going to do anything. Yeah, it's not going to hold anything in place. Not this, not what I'm doing. And I consider myself an advanced quilter, you know? This is far beyond advanced. This is slowing down myself. I can't slow down sewing. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I physically cannot do it. You know, like some things just physically make you gag. Well, that's what happens sewing slow. Sorry. I just can't do it. I've tried. I've tried to sew slow. I've tried to take one stitch at a time and do things slow. I can't. It's an ADD thing, I think. All right, before this piece falls apart into 500 bazillion pieces, let's try to reline that back up. Exactly right here. can't do it that way. Because I can't see the bottom piece. It's going to line up. Right there. Stay. It's too small for a pin right there. I can't throw a pin in it. Yeah. Whoever designs the next double wedding ring, don't design it like this. Just make an illusion, you know? Something that looks like snail trail, how it goes in a circle like it does, but it's an illusion of a circle because it really isn't a circle. I can't hold that like that either. See, I'm trying to sew slow, but look, I can't do it. And even if I put my machine on slow, it'll drive me nuts. Okay, stay right there. That's my finger. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Place those together. This. Sit down. And so. That's right there. How much further? Right there.
Okay.
I don't even know if this will press out. I think at this point I am just ruining things and I am going to stop. I'm going to put my brain in rest mode and come back to this when I don't feel like caca. This is the most puckered nonsense I have done in years. All right, so it's ready to hook this seam. And now I have a nice, lovely curve for this seam, but I'm not going to sew it. I give up.
Okay, you only got 15 more minutes.
I give up because it's not lining up, and I'm going to take myself a real hard look at putting this together again. And X out of this. So I have a picture on my phone. If I look at the darn picture, I could see in my picture, it looks like if I just put the circles together, literally make the whole circle with the center in it, and then hook all the circles together with these guys, you know what I mean? Hook that one on there and then put the next circle up. It seems like that would be more work, but it also seems more logical. I don't know. Because this whole making a long seam thing, I told you guys I'd figure this out, and I'm trying to figure it out, but apparently it's really hard to do. And the funny thing is I know how to do it. It's these. This section, whoever designed it is all wrong. They should have made this point longer so it fit into this section more, and then you would just hook the 3 and have double seams right there. And sorry, the camera is automatically going down all on its own because our mount is broken, so it's just sliding. I see it.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, so if this would have been just a little bit wider, like, you know, a little bit bigger than half, but whatever, you know, and then came up in here more, then it would fit better. And you wouldn't have to worry about this being open. Once you hook these creases together, there's open ends.
Sliding down on its own.
Yeah, sorry guys, the camera mount broke, and we went to the thrift store yesterday, and I was going to try to find one, but the thrift store is like a disaster. And I didn't want to take the time, because I was already hurting, to dig through all the camera equipment and stuff that they had there. I don't even think it's the right stuff, but whatever. This piece right here, where it connects this to these points, it's cut off in some places. Literally an open seam. The only reason why it's closed now is because these two are sewn at the end. If that wasn't sewn and you left all that open, or you didn't catch that piece, you'd have a bunch of open holes in your whole entire quilt. That needs to, further on in future double wedding rings, that needs to be designed better. And I have a feeling the same with the piecing it together pattern as a square block. It also looks like those ends aren't going to connect in that picture. You know what I mean? It looks like they're sitting wrong. So it's going to have an opening. I mean, if you've done it that way, you can let me know. This does allow you to put it on point. I mean, I already started sewing all this too. I'd have to have a little bit smaller of a quilt, because I already sewed all that stuff up to do my corners like this instead. Because this literally fits on half of this. I would just have to trim every single one of them square on one side and the other. I would just have to attach this, but I've already cut all this fabric, and that just seems like a big giant waste, you know? So I'm going to figure this out. Maybe by next Sunday, I'll be a little bit further than I was, or I won't be at all further, and I will have to give it some time and some very careful thinking of hand sewing, because I hate to hand sew, like absolutely despise it.
You sewed around the football, would it stop it from?
And this is also not an on point or traditional style put together problem. This is both. No matter which way you do it, these tips do not come together properly. If I sewed around the whole football? Oh, you mean like a stay stitch on every single one of them? I mean, I could. I could stay stitch every single football. That's a lot of work, because there's 340 of them or 360 of them, something like that. I don't know. I could also do it where I hand stitch and then come in with the machine once I get everything in place. Like I could literally put this point where it's supposed to go, hand stitch it a couple inches, you know, in all the pieces, and then come back and finish the stitch off. But that seems like a lot of extra work. If you were watching this video on the replay and you see how frustrated I am, tell me if you were frustrated with your double wedding ring. Did it drive you nuts making it too for the first time? Did you want to take it all and throw it in the trash because you're pissed off at it? I'm serious. It's not the piecing of it. I know how to piece it. It's the connections is not right. And none of these, I'm looking at the book right now, none of these make it any smaller. It's always that piece. You know, like it makes no sense. It's always that strange tiny piece in it all. Even in the traditional method. Any questions while I'm still here? Sorry, I'm really tired. This made everything worse. My shakes are dying down, though. That's a plus. It's because I took an ibuprofen. Yeah, none of this has any tips. Just like a quick overview. There's nothing that says tips on the little piece or anything. It just says to leave it open, start at the point, mark those tips with your marker, but that doesn't help marking them if you can't line them up. It says line it up with the 2 dots. I did that with that seam on the outside of the seam, not the inside of it.
If you applicate all your circles on a solid piece of material on your long arm.
Applicate them all on a solid piece of material on the long arm. I mean, that could be done, but I would have to turn every single one of these raw edges under. It would be a very weird quilt, but I've thought about piecing other quilts on the long arm, how it would work, but I think it would look weird. You could do applique of like hearts and stuff while on the long arm.
Do you think that Go Big would do the same thing?
I don't know. If somebody has the AccuQuilt, they should say it in the chat or in the comments after the video, or even maybe post it in the Facebook group. Do those corner tips, like this part that comes on this, if you have the AccuQuilt one, does that one go all the way, or is that one just a cut off piece like this too that has to line up with this seam right here? Like, or is it a full piece, or is it wider? I mean, this is only a half an inch right here, this section. So you literally have to be a master at making sure that you're always starting it at a 1/4 of an inch on this piece right here, lining it up and getting it exactly on the spot. I mean, I could, like I said, I could pre-stitch a couple of these on every corner and just do that whole method, but for some reason I feel like it's not going to help it. I'm still going to have puckering. I'm still going to have, weird shape pieces, and I'm going to still have this not connected between the 2 pieces when they come together like this. It's still going to have a piece of this open and sticking out with a hole right through the quilt because it's not completely lined up. And this is why I put it off for so long. I mean, I'm going to power through this, but obviously it's going to drive me crazy along the way, and I will spare all of you that. You do have the general direction of how to do it. If you are less frustrated as me at this point, it could just be that I'm in a lot of pain, that I'm suffering, but it's just not lining right. But I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to get it together. Yeah, the next row's going to have 1, 2, 5. Oh, I'm so tired. Obviously, I still have to turn a bunch of these around because they're all wrong. I don't know how I got it messed wall. That made no sense. Just one gets out of place, though. It messes the whole thing up. All right. No questions? No? All right. Anything else? I think I'm done.
You ever watched Donna Jordan's video? Maybe it would help.
I watched Donna Jordan's video like 50 times. It's a totally different style of putting it together. Hers is made into squares, and then you put the squares together. So, which is a part of this. So it's literally this part of a triangle, and it comes down right here and creates a triangle,
Can you start in the center and go to the corner?
Start in the center and go to the corner?
Yes,
yeah, I can start from the center and sew to the corner. That's no big deal. It's getting it to line up the whole way. And that's 2 stitches, 2 stitchings per. So you sew one full side, then you flip the whole thing over, sew the other full side, And then you have to do that with every single piece. That would be a lot of extra work. I'm still really thinking that making all the circles first, and then that makes them all attached this way, and then just coming in and inserting the next set of circles. You know what I mean? I don't know. For some reason, that seems like it would maybe help me since I'm struggling so much. But that way I wouldn't be able to know which one's going to land where, because that circle already started out messed up. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep going the way I am. It'll get figured out. If you're doing it the traditional way, just know it's going to be the same thing. You're making rows that make these curves, and then you hook those curved rows together. That's apparently how it's done, both on point or regular, not on point, which is the traditional way. All right, I'm done.
Okay. No more questions?
All right, guys, I'm gonna get off of here, and I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm so whatever. I will get at this tomorrow or the next day or whatever. Hopefully by next Sunday I'll have more done. If not, something new will be done next Sunday. And we'll get to this when we get to this. Because right now I need to get my bearings together. And those of you who are doing good sewing it, keep on keeping on, because you got this. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya Thursday for Breakfast at Tiffany's at 8 a.m. Bye. Oh, and thank you for the pattern, and also don't forget TIFF10 at Fat Tuesday Fabrics. Put TIFF10, and you guys will get 10% off of your purchase. See ya.